You're watching the Norfolk Southern Sherwood subdivision. I'm Harold, thanks for watching. In a previous video, we showed how to do full-scale track planning for our new industries in the town of Sherwood. And having done that, what we have is, and you can probably see it in the video, we've outlined the new track in pencil. A little tip from Ron's Trains and Things that he told us about recently. Do not use Sharpie to mark these things out. And the reason for that is Sharpie's ink. When we put the ballast, as you see back here, on these rails, we're going to use a liquid method. We will be using alcohol. The alcohol might pick up some of the ink that's in the Sharpie, and you're going to get black all over your rails, all over your ballast. It won't look good. So don't do that. What we're going to do first is the farmost track. In order to do that, we must install 2 turnouts. In order to install 2 turnouts, we must make a place for our tortoise switch machine from underneath the layout to connect to the turnout. We'll be doing that next. This micro-engineering left-hand turnout goes right here, followed by a right-hand turnout that'll go up here. So the head block for the turnout is right here. You can see here that we have made some marks to identify the position of the hole that we have to create so that our tortoise switch machine from under the layout can connect to this turnout. To do that, it's a very simple process actually. First of all, we need to cut away the foam. And we'll do that with a number 17 chisel blade. Just push that down into the foam until it gets right down in there. I'm going to kind of make a square hole here. Having made our cut, we need to have something to dig this thing out of here with, so I've got a screwdriver. And with enough brute force, it will eventually come out. Go in here and clean up the hole. Get all that stuff to come out of there. And we are done with that part. Next step, we will find our 1/4-inch drill. We will drill 2 holes in here. And they'll be close to each other, and then we'll connect them to each other in this manner. shop vac and see what we've got in here. So we take a look inside, and now what we're just trying to do is connect those two holes. I'm sorry, I should have turned the drill off. What we're trying to do is connect those two holes so we have actually a slot. And we'll just move the drill bit back and forth, and eventually they will be connected. There we go. Grind a little off the edges. Just make sure we didn't do something bad. We will put our turnout back in here. And we see the throw bar. Throw bar's right there. Fits directly over the hole. That's exactly what we wanted. So, our first step is complete. We are now capable of installing our tortoise switch machine for this turnout. We have reached the point where it is time to put down our adhesive caulk that will hold our turnouts in place. The product we're using is this product, DAP Dynaflex 230. It is a latex caulk. It comes in colors. I've chosen brown. And you can see, I've already used it here. After we paint the track, you won't see it anyway, so you could use pink for that matter. But we're going to go ahead with brown, and it's really a simple process. First of all, we've masked off our two holes because we do not want this caulk to interfere with our throw bars. So we won't be putting any caulk in those areas. So you just lay a little bead down in this manner here. And we go up here. Too much of this could be a bad thing because it will ooze up between your ties. Let's make sure we've got enough here. Need to go a little farther. So, just a little bead. What you want to do is spread it out so that we have a nice thin layer, and you want good coverage. And you have some working time with this, so that's a good thing. If you put too much in here, you lose up between the ties, and that will look horrible. So we don't want that. So if you've got too much on here, just scrape it off. Handy paper towel. And if you're going to do this, stuff gets all over the place, no matter what you do. So don't wear your best clothes. All right, that's probably thin enough. Now, take our tape off. We don't want it to get trapped under the track. Put our track in place. Looks like it's supposed to be where it is. Make sure you have the rail joiners joined properly. Right down the track. Make sure that's okay. Oh, looks like it's a little wide. All right. Now, just make sure it's level. Sure it's in the right place. Give it a little sight. You know, what we're trying to do is line it up with the tracks that go after it. Alright, so we're satisfied with that. We'll get some weight on this. And that's all we're going to do in this session. So what have we done? We've installed the two turnouts that are the critical factors in the remaining track that we'll put in when we come back from the turnout, having it solidified to its caulk. And after we do that, we'll put in the remainder of the track, and that will finish our track laying in Sherwood. Well, a day has gone by and we've had our time to get our caulk solidified, and you can see those pieces are in there permanently. They don't move at all. So now on to the real purpose of doing all this, which is to serve our industries, which are going to be placed down here. And you can see we've removed, I'll remove our temporary wiring here. We've removed the industries and everything else that was sitting there. We have our lines where our track is going. And because the surface was painted, we've also roughed up the paint in order for the caulk to stick more appropriately. So we're going to put in 3 tracks, one here, and one here. This one is going to go clear down to Richard's Foods. These two are going to serve Martin Industries. So we'll get started with that. Process is identical. Little bead right down the middle of where we want to go. Smooth it out. And of course what we're looking for is a thin coat. Right there is not a thin coat. And something that does not come up between the ties. Stuff is pretty sticky, so a thin coat will work just fine. And keep doing this until we get the thin coat that we like. Wipe off the excess and put our track in place, making sure that the rail joiners are where they're supposed to be. We have some working time here, which is good. Now, what I want to do, I have this curve, and I want to make sure that the curve stays curved when we put the weights on it in a moment. So we're going to put some track nails in here temporarily. We'll remove them later to make sure that that curve doesn't bend back on us as it would tend to do. stick my head in front of the camera just to see. Oh, that looks okay. More track nails. We're just trying to make sure that this stays in place while it's drying. Putting the weights on it will not displace it into some location that we don't want. This needs to move a little. And we'll put one on the other side, just to make sure that it doesn't move in that direction. Final check of the curvature. I think I want this to be a little straighter right here. And we've done that. Get out of the way. Take our roller, smooth it out, make sure it's pressed well down. And we find some convenient weights to make sure it doesn't move. Meanwhile, the weight shouldn't get in the way of the next step, which is to put this track in. And we'll find something to hold that down. Old volumes of model railroad. After allowing the caulk to set up overnight, we have removed all the weights, we put the structures back in place, and now it looks like this. We have our new Turnouts here, Martin Industries, Richard's Foods, with all the track. It looks pretty good. So we're done, right? I wish that was true. Because I couldn't think of all these things, I actually made a small list of all the things that we need to do to get this into a condition where it actually looks like an industrial area. We have to do the following. We have to solder the rail joiners. We have to install track feeders. We have to install 2 tortoise switch machines and connect the track feeders. That'll mean going under the layout, which is always fun. We have to paint the track. Then we have to ballast the track. And because we have added 2 new turnouts, we're going to have to revise our existing control panel. And then there is the scenery. We got to get the structures into place permanently. We got to put roads and parking lots and other scenery items. And that will finish our scene, we presume. Of the things I just mentioned, we have a how-to playlist that presents how to paint the track and how to ballast it. The installation of tortoise switch machines and track feeders and rail joiner soldering has been covered numerous times by many other folks on YouTube, and I'm sure you can find videos that will show you how to do those things. What we have planned for the future is doing a video about revising the Sherwood control panel. So I hope you enjoy that when it's presented. We thank you for watching today. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please record them below. If you enjoyed this video or other videos of this type, or some of our operations videos, please consider subscribing to the Norfolk Southern Sherwood subdivision.